welcome to Scotcha Talk. I'm Ever Cole. So normally we start things off by you just giving a brief description of the company you work at and your role at it.
So I work at Symcor, and Symcor is a private entity. We're owned by three of Canada's largest financial institutions, jointly by RBC, TD, and Bank of Montreal. And my position there is heading up new product development and innovation. So the nice thing about that is I get to run a corporate startup at Symcor. We build new products, we bring new solutions to market, and we partner very closely with our customers, who are not only banks, but telcos and other industries. We're Canada's largest payment processor in the field of checks, and we produce a lot of data in the form of statements. And I'm bringing some new products and solutions to market in the area of fighting fraud.
Okay, what are some of these products? I guess they are focused more on the fintech side.
Yeah,
Can you explain these products a little bit to me?
You could call us a fintech in a way. So we're an intermediary.
Do you like the term fintech, or being called a fintech, or do you want to kind of be thought of as something else?
Well, I don't know. Something else might be boring. So I think fintech's
right.
kind of cool.
Yeah,
right? It's the new hot thing.
That's true.
So I'm okay with it.
Okay.
We're an odd kind of fintech because we are owned by the bank. So it's weird to have a joint venture that you would call a fintech, I
Right.
guess.
Normally they're so separate, like almost enemies.
That's right. They're almost enemies. But that's the one thing that we are, is we're a collaboration amongst three banks already. And the product that we're building and bringing to market is also a collaboration. It's actually taking data across multiple institutions and leveraging that and the insights to help better detect and fight fraud. So in its nature and inherent is collaboration. So that's one of the products that we're building, is we're actually bringing to market an anti-fraud alliance.
Can you explain a little bit more
Yeah,
about
sure.
what type of fraud exactly you are fighting?
So the issue with fraud these days is many of the bad actors attack multiple institutions and multiple banks. And some of the things that they'll do is they'll take over accounts, they'll assume identities, they will commit check fraud, they'll steal data in transactions from all sorts of avenues within a bank. And so they're essentially defrauding the bank or defrauding you and I as customers of legitimate money. And what we're trying to do is find a better way to help banks leverage the information that they have across their network, whether that be data or whether that be insights or threat vectors, and then apply artificial intelligence and machine learning across a broader networked data set.
Right. How much fraud occurs daily within these banks? Is it a really big issue?
It's a really big issue, yeah. And I'll give you some global numbers, right? So.
Okay.
My talk today, we talked about cybercrime and the profits from cybercrime. These are just profits. Globally, it's estimated that they make almost $1.5 trillion in profits.
I thought you were going to say billion.
No, trillions, and that's globally. Now, and Canadian banks, we have a smaller footprint, but they've got $2 trillion in deposits here in Canadian banks, so they are a ripe target for some of these fraudsters and these criminals.
Of course.
So hundreds of millions of dollars can be lost, and billions, perhaps, if you look at the whole Canadian economy, are at attack for fraud. So.
Well, have you thought about partnering with other banks or other countries, or?
Well, the Canadian jurisdiction's a really neat one, because you have really 5 banks who control a lot of the consumer marketplace.
What are those 5 banks?
So you're looking at Royal Bank, TD, Bank of Montreal, Scotia, CIBC. Then we go into National and HSBC and Desjardins and ATB. So then you start to move more into the credit union space.
Right.
But if you can do work with the top 5, you start to create a really powerful customer view, and one that helps detect not only who the good customers are and remove friction from banking, but also find the anomalies in the patterns, so you can find the patterns from the bad customers and kind of deal with them.
Could you talk to me about those patterns that you're trying to find and how you go about finding them?
Absolutely. So some of the patterns are looking at the ways in which they're committing fraud and the times and the characteristics that they use. So what channel have they used? What's the characteristics of the bad actor? So
there's patterns that these fraudsters take.
That's right. Other patterns that they take, or ones that you can use to identify them versus a good actor, and then looking for the anomalies. So when you do banking, right, you probably have a typical time where you make a deposit or withdrawal, or you pay a credit card bill, or whatever
First
it is.
of the month.
There you go, first of the month. And then let's say a fraudster comes in and they've assumed your identity. If they don't do it on the first of the month,
right,
that could be an anomaly. Yeah, that's right. But you also don't want to have false positives, right? So maybe just for whatever reason you're not making your payment on the first of the month. You don't want all those transactions to be declined. So that means having more than just that one data point, having many data points about you to confirm that you are who you say you are, and this is a legitimate transaction.
Right. So once you are suspicious of an account or whatever it is, what are the next steps after that?
So the banks, we're a third party, so we're really providing that signal back to the banks, and it's up to them to do further due diligence and investigation, and they can make a decision on whether or not this is an isolated case, it's a mistake, or whether they need to do something more broadly. So they'll end up either dealing with that account or investigations.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
It was
you.
a pleasure talking to you.